The Bengaluru High Court had allowed festivities at the Idgah Maidan. The top court has referred the matter to a three-judge bench. Kapil Sibal, remember, was representing the Waqf Board in the top court. The Supreme Court was hearing a plea against Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations at the Idgah Maidan. Supreme Court has heard the Waqf Board's plea against the High Court order and has referred the matter to a three-judge bench. Let's go right across to Arvind Gunasekar joining us with the very latest. Arvind, what more can you tell us?
Rishka, today the Supreme Court division bench led by Justice Hemant Gupta and also Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia, both of them heard the appeal preferred by Karnataka Waqf Board. Earlier, the Karnataka High Court had allowed Ganesh Chaturthi festival celebrations in one of their Maidan, Idgah Maidan, that is under the Karnataka Waqf Board. So the Karnataka Waqf Board had challenged that particular Karnataka High Court order which had allowed this Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations in one of their Maidan here in the Supreme Court. So when the matter was heard in detail on behalf of the petitioner, that's Karnataka Waqf Board, both senior advocate Kapil Sibal and also senior advocate Dushant Dave, both of them appeared for Karnataka Waqf Board, wherein they said that this particular property or the ground is in the possession of the Karnataka Waqf Board for almost 200 years. So after 200 years, all of a sudden in 2022, the Karnataka government passed an order wherein they allowed this Ganesh Chaturthi festival celebrations here in this particular Maidan, and where they said that this particular ground belongs to Karnataka Waqf Board and they should not be allowed to hold any such Ganesh Chaturthi Utsav festival here in this ground. They also said that it will also lead to law and order problem, and they also said for last 200 years when the ground was with the Karnataka Waqf Board, what made the Karnataka government to all of a sudden come up with such an order, and that's why they challenged it before the Supreme Court. Whereas appearing for the Karnataka government, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta said, though they are not questioning, they are not going into the ownership of the ground, but they said that they just need the permission to take over this land or to hold this land, to hold this particular ground only for 2 days, only for tomorrow and day after tomorrow, for holding this particular Ganesh Chaturthi Utsav. And they also said that whatever be the threat perception that the petitioners are raising here, that the Karnataka government will ensure that no untoward incident will take place. That was the stand of the Solicitor General who appeared for the Karnataka government. So after hearing both the said arguments, both the judges, because it's a division bench judge, Justice Hemant Gupta and also Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia, both of them differed in their own opinions in passing an order on this matter, and that's why they referred this matter to a three-judge bench. So because both the judges in the division bench, they differed in their views, so the matter has been referred to the three-judge bench, and right after that particular order, senior advocate Kapil Sibal and also Dushant Dave, they approached CJ's bench, wherein they said that a three-judge bench needs to be constituted immediately. They want their matter to be heard by today itself because the Ganesh Chaturthi festival begins tomorrow. If the matter is not taken up for hearing today, if there is no order that is passed today, then the entire matter will become infructuous. And keeping the urgency and also the sensitiveness of the matter, they wanted an urgent hearing today evening itself. So the Chief Justice of India has said that he will consult with the other judges and then he will get back in 10 minutes. So in 10 to 15 minutes, we will get to know whether the Supreme Court will constitute a new three-judge bench to hear the Karnataka Waqf Board matter, because the petitioners have said that it's a serious sensitive issue. Allowing any such Ganesh Chaturthi festival in the Waqf Board ground will lead to several law and order problems. So keeping the urgency and also sensitiveness of the matter, the Supreme Court is likely to take a call on whether to list this hearing today evening itself.
Right. So, Arvind, very interesting what you're saying, because essentially in another 15 minutes, we'll know what really is happening with this matter. Like you said, Ganesh Chaturthi festivities are scheduled to begin tomorrow. So, constituting this three-judge bench and delaying the hearing in this particular case is not really an option. Let's go across to Shrija. Meanwhile, Shrija, the Karnataka State Waqf Board approached the Supreme Court challenging this recent order by the Karnataka High Court, which essentially permitted Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations to be held at the Idgah Maidan in Bangalore. While, of course, we'll wait for clarity on what really the Supreme Court is going to do in the next 15 minutes, like Arvind was saying, we'll know. Give us a little bit of a background on this story. What does this Karnataka High Court order essentially allow for, and what's the kind of opposition on the ground?
Well, it's very, very important to note as far as the Idgah Maidan of this year is concerned. In fact, it started all earlier this year, where especially several of the Hindu right-wing organizations spoke about how they should hold Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations, and then eventually, the dispute started about the ownership rights of the Idgah Maidan here in Bengaluru. After which we understand the several Muslim organizations and especially the Waqf Board had also moved to court, and eventually we also went on to see how the BBMP did, of course, go on to talk about how this particular place, the playground that they're talking about and the Idgah Maidan, it belongs to the Revenue Department of Karnataka. Now, after that decision was taken, after that decision was passed, we decided to especially, hold Independence Day celebration. This is after taking the consent of the Waqf Board as well. Now it's come to a point, a bone of contention being whether or not, especially these Hindu right-wing organizations, can go ahead and conduct the celebration, Ganesh Chaturthi celebration, which is tomorrow. And yes, of course, all eyes are on Supreme Court. This is the kind of, the decision that will come out of the Supreme Court. Now, that is something what remains to be seen. But, definitely just like how Arvind pointed out, it's a highly sensitive situation as far as Bengaluru is concerned, because even as we speak, we see several, the police officers, route marches being carried out by the police, especially in and around the surrounding areas of Chamraj Strait and especially Idgah. Any anti-social elements. So keeping this in mind, which the Karnataka government had decided to give in. Of course, this was a demand. One must always look into a way how exactly the government did go ahead with this kind of a decision, because it is clearly, it is very clear for a fact that they succumbed to the pressure of the right-wing groups, and so eventually they moved the High Court also pleas and requests coming forth from the right-wing organizations that they can go ahead and hold Ganesh Chaturthi celebration. Now, this decision comes right after where, especially the government went on to talk about this particular land belongs to the Revenue Department. So, keeping that in mind, we understand there were several pleas, that is especially the district commissioner, was ready to move into, move with the case to the to the High Court, and after which the Karnataka High Court went on to talk about how, yes, Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations can be held. Now, against this particular order, Karnataka High Court's order is what we understand the Muslim body has moved the Supreme Court. So in the next in a short while from now, we will know what really the decision that comes out of the Supreme Court. On the other hand, as far as another district is concerned in Karnataka, in Hubli, the municipal corporation has allowed the Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations to take place on Idgah Maidan.
Thanks very much, Shrija and Arvind, for joining us with the very latest.